The New York Yankees are facing one of those moments where the decisions made in the next few weeks could define the remainder of the season. Fans have been watching, debating, and analyzing every swing, every defensive play, and every managerial call, and there's a growing feeling that the team needs to make a significant change at shortstop. The spotlight, whether anyone likes it or not, has been on Anthony Volpe, a player who once carried the promise of defensive excellence and emerging offensive talent, but has struggled to deliver at the level the Yankees require, particularly in a season where every game counts. There's no shortage of discussion around his performance. Statistically, the numbers don't lie. Over the course of this season, Volpe has seen over 460 at-bats, one of the highest totals for any player in Major League Baseball this year. Yet despite the volume of opportunities, his batting average hovers at a disappointing .0204, which is not only below expectations, but alarmingly low for someone expected to anchor the infield. Home runs have come. Yes, he's reached 18, but his on-base percentage remains a troubling .269, significantly under his career averages and indicative of a player who is struggling to find consistency. His slugging percentage, a measure that had once shown potential for power hitting, sits just below .4, again slightly above his career mark, but still insufficient for a player in a pivotal role. His OPS, a combination of power and on-base ability, is at 662, and while that is right at his career average, it is far below the league standard for a starter in his position. Simply put, Volpe is not performing at the level required to keep the Yankees in contention for a deep playoff run, and yet he continues to see regular playing time, raising questions about decision-making at the managerial level. The arrival of Jose Caballero, however, offers a tangible solution. In the limited opportunities he has received, Caballero has demonstrated both offensive capability and defensive reliability. Since joining the Yankees, he has maintained a batting average over .27, contributing multiple home runs, RBIs, and crucial runs scored, all while showing advanced base-running instincts and a level of comfort in the field that immediately elevates the team's overall performance. Comparing Caballero to Volpe is stark. While Volpe has struggled to produce over hundreds of at-bats, Caballero has consistently contributed in a much smaller sample size, demonstrating the skills and composure that are necessary for a team competing at the highest level. When looking at defensive metrics, Volpe's struggles become even clearer. His errors have directly impacted critical games, creating scoring opportunities for opponents and undermining momentum. Meanwhile, Caballero's approach to the field shows awareness, anticipation, and adaptability. The Yankees are in a position where these contrasts cannot be ignored if they are serious about contending. Aaron Boone, the manager, has spoken in support of Volpe, highlighting his potential and the fluctuations common in a young player's career. Yet there is only so much that encouragement can achieve when the statistics and the on-field performance tell a different story. Boone's hesitancy to make a long-term change at shortstop to shift the lineup in a way that might maximize team efficiency has left fans and analysts frustrated. It is clear that the team's potential is being limited by maintaining a struggling player in a starting role, especially when a viable and arguably superior alternative is available. Baseball, especially in the playoff race, is unforgiving. Every decision is amplified, every error magnified, and the margin for tolerance is minimal. The pressure on the manager, the players, and the organization as a whole is immense, and the choice of who takes the field regularly is as consequential as any trade or acquisition. Looking at the numbers further highlights the urgency. Volpe's recent hitting slump, particularly since mid-August, has seen him barely reach base. His chance of getting a hit in recent games is below 10%, a statistic that is unacceptable for a regular starter. This is compounded by his declining stolen base success and a general reduction in offensive production. In contrast, Caballero has shown remarkable efficiency on the bases, adding stolen bases at a high rate and consistently putting himself in scoring positions, directly influencing the team's ability to generate runs and maintain pressure on opponents. When a team is in contention for the playoffs, these small advantages accumulate into game-changing impacts, and the difference between Volpe and Caballero in this regard is substantial. It's not only a matter of numbers. Baseball is a mental game, and the psychological aspect of being constantly criticized, struggling to produce, and facing public scrutiny can weigh heavily on a player. Volpe's performance suggests he may be battling not just technical issues at the plate and in the field, but also the mental burden of expectations and the relentless pressure from fans, media, and social networks. Observers note that while Volpe shows dedication and effort, the inability to consistently execute at the highest level indicates a deeper challenge, one that may require a shift in role or playing time rather than continued exposure in a position where success is increasingly elusive. By contrast, Caballero enters the lineup with confidence, performance momentum, and a fresh perspective, which translates directly into more effective on-field results. Defensively, the shortstop position is crucial for a team like the Yankees. The infield is the engine that drives defensive stability, supports pitchers, and creates opportunities for double plays and run prevention. A player struggling at shortstop can undo pitching efforts and change the outcome of games in a way that statistics alone may not immediately capture. Volpe's fielding difficulties have led to errors in critical moments, affecting the team's performance in tightly contested games. Caballero's presence, by contrast, stabilizes the infield, reduces errors, and allows pitchers to work with more confidence, knowing the middle of the diamond is secure. The scenario becomes even clearer when considering the broader strategic picture. The Yankees are not simply playing out the season. They are competing for a championship. Each game carries weight, and every decision should aim to maximize the probability of winning. Keeping Volpe in the starting lineup, despite his struggles, may be rooted in loyalty or long-term development plans, but the reality is that the immediate need for effective performance outweighs potential future gains. Baseball is a results-driven sport, and the Yankees' window to contend is finite. Players like Caballero represent not just an alternative, but an opportunity to strengthen the team immediately, both offensively and defensively, and to preserve the competitive integrity of the roster as the season progresses. The question is no longer about potential, but about action. The organization, the manager, and the coaching staff face a decision that could define the remainder of the season. As the season progresses, the urgency to make a definitive choice at shortstop grows increasingly pressing. Anthony Volpe's struggles have not been temporary lapses, but persistent issues that have persisted through months of play, and the team can no longer afford to rely on hope or potential as a justification for keeping him in the starting lineup. Baseball is a game of performance, and at the major league level, consistency is paramount. Every at-bat, every fielding opportunity, every decision in the game has a direct impact on the team's trajectory. Volpe's continued underperformance has tangible consequences. Innings lost, momentum stifled, pitchers under added pressure, and critical scoring opportunities surrendered. The reality is that baseball is a team sport, but individual failures, particularly at key positions like shortstop, can have a disproportionate effect. Jose Caballero represents more than just a replacement. He embodies a shift in approach, a renewed emphasis on results over tradition or loyalty. Since stepping onto the field, he has demonstrated not only the technical skills required to play shortstop at a championship level, but also the mental resilience and focus that are essential for high-pressure situations. In the games he has participated in, Caballero has consistently contributed to run creation, defensive stability, and base running success. These are not marginal improvements. They are substantial, game-altering contributions. His presence allows the Yankees to execute strategies with confidence, knowing that the infield is secure and that the team has a reliable hitter capable of producing when it counts. The statistics tell a compelling story. Volpe's overall offensive contribution has been declining, with OPS metrics, batting averages, and on-base percentages all reflecting subpar performance. Beyond the numbers, the visual evidence is equally stark. Errors on routine plays, missed opportunities for advancing runners, and a general inability to maintain defensive rhythm. Caballero, in contrast, brings energy, accuracy, and a clear understanding of situational baseball. His base stealing, field awareness, and consistent ability to reach base improve the team's competitive standing in tangible ways. Baseball, especially in the playoff race, is often decided by the accumulation of these seemingly small advantages, and the Yankees cannot afford to overlook them. Managerial decisions play a critical role in this dynamic. Aaron Boone, while well-meaning and supportive of his players, faces scrutiny over the continued reliance on Volpe despite his underperformance. Encouragement and public statements of confidence are important for player morale, but they cannot substitute for the empirical realities of game outcomes. Boone's hesitation to make a permanent switch to Caballero as the starting shortstop has frustrated fans and analysts alike, as the team continues to compete in high-stakes games. The challenge for Boone is balancing player development with immediate competitive needs, a delicate line in any organization, but one that demands prioritization of results when the postseason is within reach. The mental component cannot be underestimated. Anthony Volpe is undoubtedly aware of the criticism and pressure surrounding his play, and the psychological burden of repeated struggles in front of fans, media, and social platforms can be debilitating. Baseball is as much a mental game as it is a physical one. Confidence, focus, and resilience are essential for performance. When a player faces continuous public scrutiny, the stress can manifest in both offensive and defensive lapses, creating a feedback loop where poor performance fuels further anxiety. By contrast, Caballero enters the field with a fresh perspective, unburdened by prolonged slumps and able to approach each play with confidence and clarity. Beyond performance, the concept of fairness and opportunity plays a role. Volpe's continued placement in the starting lineup appears increasingly misaligned with his current abilities, while Caballero has demonstrated readiness and aptitude. Providing Caballero with consistent playing time is not punitive toward Volpe. It is a strategic adjustment designed to benefit the team as a whole. Baseball requires flexibility and responsiveness. Roster decisions must reflect current realities rather than past potential alone. In doing so, the Yankees signal a commitment to performance, accountability, and competitive excellence. Looking at the broader implications, this situation exemplifies the delicate balance between player development and immediate team needs. Young players often require time to adjust, improve, and grow into their roles. However, when a player consistently fails to meet the performance threshold necessary for a starting position, a temporary or permanent shift may be warranted. Caballero provides that opportunity, offering immediate positive impact while potentially allowing Volpe to reset, regain confidence, and find his rhythm without the relentless pressure of daily starting responsibilities. Such an approach aligns with both individual growth and team success, creating a path that respects the player's potential while addressing the team's competitive priorities. Psychologically, Volpe's struggles highlight the need for balance and support. Constant exposure to failure, criticism, and pressure erodes confidence and can perpetuate performance declines. By reducing Volpe's immediate responsibilities and placing him in a less pressurized role, the organization can provide an environment conducive to regaining focus, rebuilding confidence, and ultimately returning to productive play. This approach is not only compassionate but strategically sound, reflecting a nuanced understanding of performance psychology in professional sports. Ultimately, the Yankees face a decision that blends performance analytics, managerial judgment, and player psychology. Caballero's ascension as the starting shortstop represents a clear pathway toward stabilization, both defensively and offensively. Volpe's reassignment, whether to a bench role or secondary position, allows for a reset that respects his long-term potential while prioritizing the team's immediate objectives. Baseball demands adaptation, decisiveness, and the willingness to make tough choices. In the high-stakes environment of a playoff race, these decisions are magnified and the consequences of inaction are equally pronounced. The fans, the team, and the organization are all watching. Every at-bat, every defensive play, and every managerial choice is scrutinized, and the need for alignment between performance and opportunity has never been clearer. Caballero's skills, readiness, and mental composure offer the Yankees a tangible advantage, while Volpe's continued struggles underline the cost of inaction. Baseball is both unforgiving and enlightening. Those who recognize performance realities and respond decisively position themselves for success. The Yankees' shortstop situation exemplifies this principle, and the resolution of this dilemma will have lasting implications for the remainder of the season, the team's postseason prospects, and the development of the players involved. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Juan Soto agreeing to join the New York Yankees has sent shockwaves throughout Major League Baseball, stirring endless speculation about what this move could mean for the landscape of the sport. Rumors have been circulating for months about Soto's future, with whispers connecting him to several powerhouse franchises, but nothing seemed as explosive as the possibility of him donning the pinstripes. Insiders hint that behind-the-scenes negotiations reached a fever pitch in recent weeks, with Soto's camp reportedly demanding not only a lucrative contract, but also assurances about his role in the Yankees lineup and potential influence over organizational decisions. Fans and analysts alike are dissecting every possible implication of the deal, from payroll flexibility to lineup chemistry. And no conversation about the Yankees' offseason is complete without mention of this blockbuster acquisition. Social media is ablaze with speculation, memes, and potential trade scenarios, with some suggesting that Soto could finally give New York the feared combination of power and discipline in the middle of the order, a combination that has eluded the franchise in recent years. Conversations with unnamed sources indicate that rival executives are simultaneously impressed and worried, as Soto's presence could drastically tilt the balance of power in the American League, making the Yankees an instant favorite for both the division and the World Series. The financial details of Soto's impending contract remain shrouded in mystery, but rumors suggest the Yankees were willing to push beyond their usual spending limits to secure a player of his caliber. Speculation abounds regarding the structure of the deal, with whispers of massive signing bonuses, incentives for postseason performance, and potentially even no-trade clauses to provide Soto with security. Analysts are already projecting the impact on luxury tax calculations, pondering how the Yankees might restructure their payroll to accommodate the sudden addition of one of baseball's most feared hitters. Behind closed doors, executives from other teams are reportedly scrambling to assess whether their own off-season strategies need recalibration in response to New York's aggressive maneuvering. Meanwhile, Soto's rumored arrival has reinvigorated the Yankees' fan base, with ticket demand, merchandise speculation, and media attention reaching levels not seen since other historic free agent signings. Every sports talk show seems to be dedicating hours to debating not just Soto's potential numbers, but the intangible effects on clubhouse morale and leadership. Industry insiders caution that while numbers tell part of the story, Soto's reputation for discipline, vision at the plate, and selective power could redefine how opposing teams pitch to the Yankees entirely, making the league reevaluate strategy and defensive alignments in unprecedented ways. Even as the MLB community processes the gravity of Soto's rumored commitment, whispers continue about the ripple effects across team dynamics and future free agent markets. Competing franchises are reportedly analyzing how this acquisition could influence their own decision-making, from long-term contracts for emerging stars to mid-season trades designed to counterbalance the Yankees' newfound offensive threat. Behind-the-scenes sources claim that discussions within the Yankees' front office have been unusually intense, with executives debating lineup construction, positional rotations, and even pitching strategies specifically tailored to maximize Soto's impact. Speculation is rife that veteran players within the Yankees clubhouse have been consulted informally about the arrival of a high-profile star, weighing how team chemistry might shift and whether new leadership hierarchies will emerge. Meanwhile, pundits on national sports networks are theorizing about the broader consequences for the American League, suggesting that the combination of Soto's plate discipline and the Yankees' already formidable pitching staff could create a scenario in which other teams feel compelled to significantly adjust their rosters to compete. The rumor mill continues to churn, fueled by subtle leaks, cryptic social media posts, and insider commentary hinting at a once-in-a-generation acquisition. Conversations around the league are increasingly dominated by one central question. How will Juan Soto and Pinstripes redefine the power balance, competitive strategy, and cultural narrative of modern baseball? Amid all the conjecture, fans themselves have taken to forums, social media, and local sports bars to speculate, celebrate, or despair, depending on allegiance. Memes comparing Soto to legendary Yankees figures circulate daily, with some humorously suggesting that he could single-handedly erase rival teams' playoff hopes. Yet, behind the humor lies genuine fascination with Soto's potential role in a lineup historically known for its mix of power, discipline, and legacy pressure. Sports journalists are racing to connect dots, sourcing unnamed contacts in an effort to confirm every detail, while simultaneously acknowledging that much of the story remains in flux. Trade rumors, projected WAR comparisons, and imagined postseason scenarios fill every conversation, with some insiders privately suggesting that Soto's arrival could trigger a cascade of further moves as other teams scramble to maintain parity. Even retail and marketing divisions within the Yankees organization are reportedly preparing for an unprecedented surge in fan engagement, with memorabilia, apparel, and ticketing strategies already being adjusted in anticipation of Soto's imminent presence. The excitement is tangible, but so is the uncertainty. Every rumor carries weight, every whisper sparks debate, and the entire baseball world seems to hold its collective breath, aware that this potential signing may mark not just a turning point for the Yankees, but for the sport itself. As the rumor continues to dominate headlines, analysts emphasize that Soto's impact extends far beyond statistics or highlight reels. His approach at the plate, which combines patience, power, and intelligence, is widely seen as a model for a new era of offensive strategy, and the Yankees are rumored to be positioning him not only as a central figure in the lineup, but as a cornerstone of future franchise planning. Conversations with anonymous insiders suggest that coaching staff, performance analysts, and executive leadership are actively projecting scenarios in which Soto influences pitching rotations, game day strategies, and even fan engagement initiatives. While nothing is confirmed, the pervasive buzz is enough to make other teams reconsider their own off-season priorities, potentially accelerating moves in trade markets or free agency to counterbalance what could be an insurmountable advantage. In the midst of this whirlwind, fans debate the intangibles. Will Soto's presence transform the clubhouse culture, inspire young talent, or create unforeseen challenges in managing egos and expectations? Rumors indicate that every angle is being considered, from leadership dynamics to promotional campaigns, as the Yankees potentially prepare to integrate one of baseball's most coveted talents into an organization with a storied history and exacting standards. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.